we are also publishing these, which are Advent booklets, and how you want to use this in your classroom. Let's see, there's a few different options. One of the things that I'm going to do in my classroom is that when we're done with our work time and we come back to the circle, we're going to light the Advent candle again and use some of the liturgy in here, the recommended songs and the prayer, just to kind of give us some more structure around our time. This is something that's going home with all of the families, but it's nice to have a link between what goes home and what exists in the classrooms. And so if you can look through this and maybe think about, oh, here's one song that we can do, or, you know, they have really nice scripture readings here. And this, again, goes with the actual candle lighting piece of the curriculum. So that's not a story in and of itself, but it goes with the candle lighting piece, which you can do at the end of your work time. Does that make sense? There's a lot of like specific.
So we don't have to light the, because right now we do everything kind of on the front end, including the work time, and then when they gather back, then we light the Christ candle. We read some verses from, depending on how long the story was, we read some verses from the Bible. When we're telling each of these Advent stories, do we have to be lighting those candles right then, or can we just do it when we light the Christ candle and do our scripture reading after we gather?
Yeah, that's a good question. There's a part within the story which talks about the actual lighting of the candle. So, but that doesn't mean that you have to tell it right at that point. You could save that part of the story until you come back and reconvene in your circle, and then bring it out again, and then even allude to some of the stuff in this Advent booklet, and then light the candle then. So you could do it that way, or you could do it right when you're telling the story with the card initially. Or you can do it both ways. I think in our class we might end up doing it both ways because I really like the way that they're both set up, but I think that there's some flexibility there for sure. Other questions about how? Let's see. Do you guys want to hear any of these stories? Okay. I'll do the first two. And that'll give you a sense of how the curriculum flows. But this is just a nice overview.
Did this curriculum not put the Three Kings in the right chronological order? Is that why you changed it?
No, they put the Three Kings as part of Advent, which I think it could be. But it's just that last year the sermon series dealt with the angel on that Sunday. So they really wanted to integrate this piece of the angel, and then it seemed like a natural move to move the story of the first Kings to Epiphany. But I don't think that there was anything wrong with an initial decision of having them in Advent, because they're usually talked about in Advent.
Right.
They're kind of, they play both ways. They go to Epiphany and they stay in Advent.
So would it be clear to us which of the stories are in the Purple Book and which are not? I mean, besides the angel one, are all the rest of them in the Purple Book?
All of them are in the Purple Book aside from the angel one. The stories that have been written separately have some slightly different language that just reflects more of what happened in the sermon series last year. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
And to clarify, the way the cards are set up now, Mary and the donkey go on the Bethlehem card, Joseph goes on the angel card because it's the story of the angel coming to Joseph.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Thank you.
And then the baby and the cow go on the white one.
On the white card?
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Thanks. It's been a while since I've told this story. So I always need a refresher every year.
I think we said you could use the scroll from one of the Old Testament stories on.
Oh yeah, that's right. From the prophets.
Like from the temple. I will do the story of the Holy Family and the prophet, and that way you get a chance to hear both of those and see how the colors turn. All right. This is the Holy Family. Sometimes when you see something like this, it's not for children to touch. It might break easily, so you need to ask if you can touch it or work with it. But this Holy Family is for you. It's for you to touch, and it's for you to work with. And you don't need to ask to work with it. This is the Christ child. He is holding out his arms to give the whole world a hug. Here is the Mother Mary. And here is the Father Joseph. Here is the donkey that the Mother Mary rode when she and Joseph went to Bethlehem to be counted by the Roman soldiers. Mary was about to have a baby, so it was very hard for her to ride on the donkey. But it was also hard for her to walk, so every time that she got tired, she got back on the donkey. Here's the cow that was in the stable when the baby was born. He was surprised to find the baby in the feed box, the manger, where he usually found his breakfast. Here is the shepherd. The shepherd is the one who saw the great light in the sky at night. There were more shepherds than this, but we will just put one down to remind us. And here were some of his sheep. There were more sheep, but these will help us to remember. When they saw the light in the darkness, they were afraid, and I would be too. And then they heard singing. That scared them until they heard the words. The angels sang that they had come to bring peace on the earth and goodwill to all people. Run, hurry, go to Bethlehem. Something has happened there that will change everything. Here are the three kings, the wise men. They were so wise that people thought that they were magic. In their language, they were called the Magi, and that is a word from which we get our word magic. They knew so much that people actually thought that they were magic, and of all the things that they knew the most about the stars. One day, they saw a wild star. The Magi knew where all the stars were supposed to be in the sky, but this star moved. This was not on their maps in the sky. So when it moved, they were curious and they followed it. It led them to the stable where the Christ child was born. The wise men brought with them gifts, gold and frankincense and myrrh. Here is the baby, reaching out to give you a hug. He grew up to be a man that died on the cross. And that is very sad, but it is also very wonderful in an Easter kind of way. Now he can reach out and give the whole world a hug. He is not just back then, in this place or in that place. He is everywhere now, at every time. Joseph, the donkey that Mary rode on, the cow in the stable. Here is the shepherd and a few of the sheep. Here are the magi. This is the family of Jesus, and you can work with them anytime that you wish. They are in the classroom just for you. I'm going to stop there because we're at 4:35, but at that point you would just go straight into the prophet story. And then you just tell the story once during the time of Advent, and on the second Sunday of Advent you would start with the prophet story and then move into the Bethlehem story. So thank you for your time, and if you have any other questions, just direct them to Erica or Ariel or me.
Thanks, Miss.